Jag heter Angelina Jordan.
Princess Roses, a Flower Drive wrap-up.
Guys, look at these flowers I got. This is for you guys. They smell insane. Roses are my favorite flowers. Like, they're just so good.
So the Portsmouth concert was amazing. And the flower drive, which started off as just an idea to give her some roses amongst our group, ended up being what could only be called a huge success. So the drive in total lasted, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks? We had pledges for 451 roses. The florist ordered 500, and in the end, she gave us all 500 that she ordered. So that's what was delivered, and that is where we are actually going to start. We're going to start at the end. So here you see the outside of the music hall. You see the table there just under the marquee. That is where various gifts and flowers and things were to be dropped off. This was earlier in the day. You can see it still says Angelina Jordan, 8 p.m. Later on, after it sold out, it just said sold out instead of 8 p.m. So here you see the actual delivery. I was at the florist just minutes earlier, and we came down there and to see if we could actually see the delivery. And when this vehicle pulled up, I had no idea who it was. There's no markings or anything. And then I sort of peeked through the window, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of roses in there. So anyway, they, as you can see, they're in blue crates. That one in particular that's on the ground right there, we'll discuss that a little bit more later. But yeah, they showed up, and it was unloaded and brought directly into the music hall. None of our flowers, none of the Princess Rose's flowers were left on that table. All of them were brought directly inside. So we just we're at the end of the process with the delivery. So now we're going to start at the very beginning. So this is one of the cards that I had printed up. It is actually a 12 by 18 inch card. There were 6 of them. This is the cover card. So underneath that rose picture, it'll pop up here in a second. So it says Drive Conception Implementation. That's me, James Thiel. Original idea, Robert Barron. This is the comment that he put in that Good and Goodbyes video that I put up, asking if people wanted to give her a rose. And he was setting it up with a florist in Portsmouth. And so this was the genesis of the whole thing. So I decided to take it out of the comments and send it out to the world. So we're going to take a look at some video taken at the meet and greet by Chris Walker, also known as BigAngieFan. He walked over to the area where I had set up with the cards and the small amount of roses that I brought with me, and he recorded some things, and it'll show you exactly what happened, and you'll be able to see, I think, some of the cards and the roses and me.
These are a small portion of the actual roses.
Yeah.
We had excess 431 we had contributions from people for 431 roses. The florist bought 500, so I brought some of the extras here so people could actually see them, because they're all going to be backstage.
Yeah.
And so I could give them out.
So have you arranged that you're actually going to be able to give them to her after?
They're already backstage.
Oh, I see.
I watched them be delivered.
Of course.
He's been obsessed with you. When you went to your first concert, where's that been? In Europe, right?
Yeah, concert.
So he was there too.
Get this on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, we are there.
Now she actually asked me what she should say, and I was just so tongue-tied. I just said, "Oh, just whatever you want." Yeah.
She put you on the spot. What's nice is that a young adult knows how to write
Yeah.
script.
You had the courage while he was slobbering away off camera. You had the courage to go up there and hug Angelina, and that was
They don't
absolutely
trust me as the
beautiful.
first time.
My wife and I meet Angelina Jordan.
Thank you. It's so beautiful and very
So you're the
loving music. Thank you for inspiring us.
Love you guys.
Are you done shaking?
no, still not.
Yeah.
So here we have the roses as they were packaged, as the florist received them. This is what it looks like when you get them from the supplier, I guess. And this is just a very small portion of them. Each one of these packages here is a dozen roses. And, of course, there's long stems and a bunch of leaves underneath. So the first thing they do is unwrap these and rip off most of the leaves so that they can be bundled together. There were some colored roses. I believe those red roses were actually a private gift to her. But there were some colored roses that were the princess roses as well. And you'll find out why later. So this is the setup that was in the florist the day of the concert. At this point, everything is ready to go. So at the upper left, you see Angelina's. I asked for a portable arrangement because all these flowers were always never going to be seen by anyone other than Angelina and the people backstage. That is just the way it was going to be because of security concerns and whatever else. So with that in mind, I said, okay, how am I going to get these things so that we might be able to actually see them? Her angels. So I said, okay, I'm going to make an arrangement so that hopefully if she gets the message, she can carry it out or even position it out on stage so that everyone in the theater can see them. So I wrote a note to for the that arrangement, basically asking her to bring it out to on stage with her. Now, of course, the day was hectic for me among pretty much everybody else, so it was probably for her too. And of course, that message wasn't read, most certainly, until after everything was well over. So they didn't show up on stage. However, that is the purpose of that arrangement up in the upper left. All the flowers down below, that's the remainder. Oh, that arrangement for Angelina up there, that's about 50 roses. The roses at the bottom there in those crates, that's the remainder of the roses that aren't up on top of that table there. So next to the blue crate on top is 4 arrangements, one for Michael and his family, one for Sarah, one for Mary, one for Juliet. So I didn't want to not include them. And right in front of that is, you might see them on the table there, there's 4 cards, one for each of them. And the upper right, that's basically excess roses, right? There were 451 donations. She gave us 500. So I took some of the excess and brought them to the meet and greet at the Gaslight. That was another way for me to try to get people to actually see them. And at the end of that meet and greet, they were given away as keepsakes to the folks there. So this is what it looked like in the florist shop about an hour before delivery. And here you can see at delivery, the upper right of this image, you can just see the card sticking up out of the top. That is Angelina's, what I call the portable arrangement. Of course, it didn't make it to the stage. However, if you don't try, then it ain't going to happen. So there you go. But there's the card right there. The other arrangements, I saw them go in the building, and each of those also had their card. Now, what I wrote on those cards is included in this presentation a little bit later. So here's a little bit of a close-up of some of the roses in the crates down below. Now this, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. This is my attempt to collage together that about, 2.5 second TikTok video or wherever it came from, showing the Backstage flowers. So it looks like a mess because it was a mess. Even my collage doesn't make it look much worse. But over on the far end there, that is where some of the princess roses are. The bulk of them are almost certainly tucked up underneath the table in the crates. However, the stuff that was on top of that table in the florist shop is down there on the end of the table. So this, the dark blue arrows, that is Angelina's, what I call portable arrangement. Now, there's all kinds of other stuff that have been tucked in on top of it. That's why it looks like that. But here's a closer view of it right here. Quite nice. Like I said, it's over 4 dozen roses, and it's white with some really light pink as well. So this is the message that I included for Angelina to read. I was hoping she would read it before. Obviously not. However, this was my attempt to get some flowers on stage. And the light blue arrows, those were the arrangements for the family. You can see a better picture of them over on the right there. And so those were for Mary, Sarah, Juliet, and Michael. Michael's isn't visible, it's actually cut off, but here's a better picture. Yeah, so Michael's is the one in the back there. It's just cut off. But so I guess the florist gave Sarah and Mary darker pink roses and Juliet lighter pink roses. And here's the message that was on each one of those. I'll give a few seconds and you can pause it if you want to read it. So again, this is the inside the shop. Here is the setup without all the stuff written all over the place. And a close-up. Now these are all actual photos I took.
I have an excuse. I'm from Jersey.
So funny, yeah.
Look, I'm heading downtown, so I'll see you later at the
Okay.
at the theater. You were running a little late, I guess, huh?
What are you talking about?
Well, you said you were going to be down there about 12:30.
Oh, I'm gonna what when.
And what's funny is like I was looking for people who you know were good singers and stuff, and then I remember seeing her from America's Got Talent, and then I still remember way back I saw her on The View, but I didn't connect it. Like it didn't, you know. And then I figured out, I was like, oh, that's her.
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's her.
So I remember watching her back in 2000. What was it? 16, 2017, whatever. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, when she got to 10, that was when she was about 10.
Okay.
She shifted.
All right, so now we're going to get into the cards.
She shifted.
Again, these were, I had printed at a print shop. It was actually just right down the street from the Florist shop. And these were printed on 12 by 18 inch cards. And I brought them to the meet and greet so people could sign them, write a message to her and sign them. Now, just before I handed them over to Sarah, which was just before the show started, around 7:30 that evening, I took these cards out of the sleeve they were in, and I threw them on the hood of the car and took some high resolution photos of them so I could recreate them here and show them to you. I'm glad I remembered to do that. Almost didn't. Hence the reason I was doing it on the hood of the car. Again, you can pause these and take your time and read them. So these are personalized messages from folks. The one on the top there, that's from Robert Barron. He is the originator of the idea to give her the roses. He had started setting it up with the florist and everything, and then I decided to take it out to the world, and I basically took it from there. But it was started and originally set up just within our group by Robert. So here's page 3 and 4. You'll notice some names that you probably recognize here and there. The whole thing in Portsmouth was sort of a who's who of YouTube, you might say, personalities, even though many didn't have any personality behind them. They were just a weird name, like me, Summa Engineer, right? But here we have, right there in the middle is Steve Calloway. So some folks I had send me their message prior to me sending out the cards, so I had them just printed on them. And here's the last 2 cards. And we'll see what each one of those has on it. So up there on the upper right, there's someone from the Netherlands, there's Canada. And here we have Chris Walker, also known as BigAngieFan. We have Joey Farr, Ole Olsen, and Andy Schnell. Many of you will understand or recognize probably all 4 of those. So this is a message someone sent to me. She didn't actually speak English, so I assume she somehow translated this. And at the very end there, you see she says, "I apologize for my English," and the long message. But as I said in this reply to her, sometimes long comments tell of a good story. So those were the cards.
Pants, like you are so lucky. Look at this amazing pants. They wanted you to sign this, and yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
This is for these go along with the 500 roses that she received today.
500 roses. You know who that is from?
Me.
It's from you.
Well, I sort of organized it, but it's from fans from all over the world.
Where are you from? Please tell us.
I'm from Florida. Yeah.
You're from Florida and you fly out?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And 500 roses. Is it any meaning behind those 500 roses?
Pure love. Pure love. It's called love. Yes. Pure. We were going to do it amongst our group, and I said, why? Because angels all over the world can get involved, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess.
Jeg tror musikken har funnet meg. Min drøm er å være en superstjerne og synge for Nobelkonsert. Siden jeg var 2 år så har jeg synget. Jeg går i en annen verden, og jeg tenker på musikken. Chevy Bessie, Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday. Ja, mange andre. Jeg håper å bli en stor stjerne. I who have nothing. I who have no one. Adore you in what you saw. I'm just a nowhere with nothing to give you, but I love you. You buy diamonds, bright, sparkling diamonds, but believe me, dear, when I say that you can give the world, but you